way through. It may be hard, but keep pressing your way through. I'm a witness. I'm going through it. And I'm telling you how I'm going through it. But keep moving forward. You know, don't never stay mad or angry for a long period of time. And you remember what God said. You know, God said he stayed angry what? For just a moment. See, God deal with vibration and he'll stay high. Because he don't stay angry for a long time. And we cannot stay angry and mad for a long time. That's why I said I done grown in my stomach. I used to be mad all day long, the whole day, and that don't even make no sense, So that's why I really had to get myself together, and sometimes you have to know who you are, to really get it. You got to know who you are. I ain't know nothing about keeping on with vibration and energy and all this kind of stuff. Now I do. I had to keep on visualizing stuff, to keep all that up. Think positive to keep the vibration up. Once you know an idea of who you are, you're able to do these type of things. So never give up, no matter how hard it is. Sometimes God may use our suffering to develop us into a better us. So let me say it again. Sometimes God may use our suffering. And a lot of time, I done grown in my suffering. I done found multiple purpose in my suffering. I'm like, how is this happening? I got all kind of chaoses going on, because like I said, I have multiple hats. I have got into this purpose and got to that purpose and got into this one, all in the mix of all kind of chaos. You walk into something in your mix of your chaos, in your mess. You will walk into something. And I was like, I'm thinking when all this is over with now, everything calmed down. I'm like, and God's still trying to press your way through the wilderness. Cause see, God will bless you in your wilderness. God will do everything in the wilderness. And I'm like, all this chaos going on here, God's still moving in the wilderness. And that's how he'll do. He will still be working and trying to move you in that wilderness. So sometimes God may use our suffering to develop us. Because I done come a long way of the person I used to be. So one, you will grow in your stomach. I did. Keep a strong faith. Your faith may wave, but you got to get it back on track. And we have to trust God. And we have to read and pray. That's the only way we can get through it. No matter how hard it is. Keep on pressing your way through and never give up. Two, keep a strong faith. Dream to keep your hope alive. You need that hope because you got the hope that you're going to get yourself out of this stuff. Don't never say, I don't think we're going to get out of this. We can't talk like that. I used to talk like that. That's why I say I done ground. I done ground in this stone. You can't talk like that. I had to catch myself many times. So you got to have hope. You in that storm, all kind of stuff is going on. You got the hope. You got to visualize your dream. You got to keep it alive. When you catch yourself in visualizing yourself in 2 or 3 days, that happened to me. Because sometimes you could be in so much pain and suffering, that you're so tired and you're so weak to where you can't even dream. You can't even visualize. I had to make myself do it sometimes. Because you got to realize, my stone, I'm still in my stone. And it's been a long journey. A long time. So when you in a storm a long time, it's going to be hard for you to visualize yourself. But guess what? You got to make it. You got to push that dream in. Push that dream in, because you got to keep your dream alive for you to make it through this storm. So because you may lose hope, because if you don't keep your hope alive, you're going to lose hope. You're going to lose interest in your storm. So that's why I say you got to keep your hope alive. You got to keep your faith. Keep the faith. Keep your hope alive. Because if you don't keep your hope alive, you're going to throw in the towel. You're going to lose interest. You ain't going to want to do it no more. So you keep your hope alive to keep you alive so you can move forward in your storm. Never give up. I know y'all see that no matter what I go through, I don't never give up. So, and God also tell me, never doubt. Never doubt. When you doubt, it kind of blocks you from getting anything. I had all kinds of stuff was stopping me. So have a strong faith. Have a strong faith. Always complete what you started. We started this race. So we got to finish this race. So we're going to come out of this storm, and we're going to be more than a conqueror. We're going to come out of this storm, we're going to be more than a conqueror. So don't let nothing stop you. You got to keep on moving forward. You're going to be talked about. You're going to be sabotaged. You're going to be rejected. You're going to be all those things. But you got to keep your head up high and keep on moving forward. So remember that God is our peace and joy in the mix of this crazy stuff. We have to remember. We have to really rely on God. He is our peace. He is our peace in the mix of this storm. So you may come out with scars. You may come out of this storm with scars. Like I said, I'm dealing with spiritual warfare. I had experienced losses and everything else. And I'm still trying to heal. I'm still trying to get over certain things. And I'm still trying to move forward at the same time. So imagine all these things is going on in a storm. Going on in a storm that I'm still trying to keep it together. I can say I'm still here with the grace of God. Thank you, God. God is our spiritual protection. So remember that God is our peace and our joy. We're going to rest on Him in the mix of that stuff. So you may come out with scars. You may come out with scars. You may come out with losses. But guess what? You got to keep on running that race until God say, that's it. You got to keep running that race. So, but through it out, to pain, to suffering, we have to still focus on God. That's why I say I made a lot of mistakes. I accomplished a whole lot, learned a whole lot. And I was able to write and put this together for someone else that may need these tools. So in the mix of all that pain and suffering, in the mix of you trying to curate, get your project put together, I got lost in my stuff because there's a whole lot of stuff I had to get together that I did not know. So now I'm trying to tell you, in the mix of all that pain and suffering, you still have to focus on God. We still have to keep Him number one. Guess what? Not just in our life, in our dream also. When we visualize in our future, we got to have God in it. So through it all, We have to still focus on God. You know, we have to wait and be patient in that stuff. That is hard. That is hard to do. You know, but I've been doing it. You know, so we have to wait and be patient. You know, sometimes you may not hear anything from God, but keep praying and keep pressing your way through. Don't never stop because you don't hear from God. Don't never stop. You keep on working and keep pressing your way through. You know, so God will test our faith. He will test our faith. You know, so when he tests our hardship, you know, see, God will test our hardship. You know, he will also test our faith. You know, so he may he may release spiritual warfare, you know, or anything may be holding us back. You know, so when he is testing our faith, he's testing our hardship, then he'll start releasing some, because the spiritual warfare in Satan, you know, it's all in upon his God hands. He in control. You know, so it may seem like the suffering, you know, may not end. You know, it might seem like it's not going to come to an end, but it will. It will. And God wants us to focus on him to get us through that. You know. And so God is in control and he know when to shut it down. He know when to shut it down. He's in control. He know when to shut it down. You know, so a mess up is a learning process. Excuse me. A mess up is a learning process. You know, and see, all the mess up, you know, like these tools and everything, I had them ruled out. You'll mess up because you're not going to be perfect in your stuff. You know, you write your tools down and see if someone else can use your tool that been working for you. You know, so it seems like the storm may not end, you know, but God is in control, you know, and he knows when to shut it down. You know, a mess up is a learning process. You know, like this was for me also. You know, tools that I use that someone else can use also. You know, so it will come to an end real soon. You know, so this was the tools for pain and suffering. In the mix of your pain and suffering. You know, the things that you should do and what you should not do. You know, I was focusing so much on my pain and suffering, so I got lost in the stuff. You know, when you're supposed to be focusing on God because he the one got your purpose in your career and upon his hand. You know, so we also talk about this 4-year-old boy found the gun under the pillow at home, and he took and shot himself between his eyes. You know, and so that was being reckless because it said the gun he found it under the pillow. You know, and the gun was loaded. You know, so we also talk about the property tax increase. That's in New Orleans. You know, the property tax went up, saying the value is up. You know, so that is right here in New Orleans. You know, so I had requests for a new estimate because we think they're just estimating. You know, and a lot of our homes, we started out as 100,000, but we also don't have that kind of value in our house no more. You know, the kind of value we had in the house right after Katrina. Okay, yes, that was 100,000. You know, but it don't mean if it's 100,000 now. You know, so that's all the word and news that I have for you today. You know, and y'all have a safe night, and I see y'all on the next video.